but yes, as an international student from humble beginnings, we all have to go through almost the same things.
Definitely.
The first things that that you will face, or at least that I faced, obviously was the language. It was really, really hard to communicate. It was really hard to get anything out of me. Me, I like talking. I like connecting with people. So it was really, really hard to be able to even order a coffee. But that's part of the
So
struggle.
how did you order a coffee? So you drive through McDonald's, what do you say?
Oh, you're reminding me of McDonald's, man. One coffee, please.
And then they'll be like, so what milk did you want? Do you want almond milk? And
then always like, yes, yes. Whatever they say, yes.
And that moment when they're laughing and then you don't even know what they're saying and then you laugh, yeah. And they're actually asking you something and you just, yeah, we face that. We face that.
That's good.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, culture shock is another thing, obviously, like I said, Australia is a place that embraces diversity and things like that, but let's face it, the culture is different. Things run in different ways. I see things that I've never seen before. I do things that I probably wouldn't even do in Colombia, but in Colombia we also do things that we wouldn't do in here as well. So it's about learning that. Obviously, jobs, you mentioned it earlier, Tahir. We all struggle on that. And yeah, you could say, yeah, Ben is going like this, like that. But, behind, it's like the iceberg, right? Behind, there's so many things that people have to go through. So, most international students, their first jobs are hospitality, retail, cleaning, and I'm a proud Marcus worker. That was my very first job. And it's interesting that you mentioned it because I tell this story to everyone almost that I meet. But, when I was working there, it was really hard again for me to communicate. And my manager put me on the front counter. So I had to face customers every time, and that's why I enjoyed it so much, because I was able to communicate, to learn, to talk. And look, English was a hard language, but Darwin English, Territorian English, is definitely harder. So obviously that was also really helpful. But I remember one of my colleagues telling me one day, Ben, why you're so quiet? And I had never heard that in my life before, because my teachers were always telling me, Ben, shut up. My mom, Ben, shut up. My friends, Ben, shut up. And then this guy is telling me, why you're so quiet? So then I realized, man, maybe because of my communication skills, I'm portraying the Ben that is not really me. So that's when I started, doing lots of volunteering and joining organizations. When we did the student ambassador program and all these kind of things, that's when I started. Like what triggered everything when I realized, man, this is not me. I need to do something about it. Definitely. And that's when I started.
I guess a point to note there is you can come here and try to learn English, but if you don't put yourself out there where you're forced to actually, like I can memorize a whole book on paper, but
that's right.
When I need to put it to practice, your brain goes numb. So it's and funny you mention it, like working at Macca's and going out to volunteering. I already knew English, right? Like I already understood English, but even then, putting myself into those situations helped me learn communication skills that I'd never had. Like me working at YD, a retail place where I had to just interact with people, like what do you want, and just understanding the kind of people that you have to talk with. It's putting yourself out there is probably one of the best things you can do as an international student or as just anyone, even if you know English. Yeah.
And it's going to be hard, it's always going to be hard, but if it wasn't hard, then, it wouldn't be fun as well. And those are the things that you remember, and look, and also I think it's part of life as well, on how you appreciate things, like I mentioned before, on how you also treat people, because you've been there, when you know that we're not valued by the position, by the salary, by where we live, but by who we are as human beings. So I think people shouldn't be ashamed of talking about where we're coming from or what we do, stuff like that. But where we are heading to, or where we want to be, is what's more important. So
definitely.
yeah.
No, the thing is as well, like, I can say that it's never judged, like you said, with humble beginnings and everything like that. But I know where you are right now, right? And it's actually like
you say like if I'm the president of
but in the end, it's like from like, okay, I didn't see your humble beginnings, right?
Sure,
but
sure.
but like I know humble beginnings as well. But I know that right now you're like in a pretty like respectable position as well, right? And to do that from where you are, that's, for me, I feel like that's something to look up to, because I feel like a lot of international people go through that, right? Same thing with my parents as well, right?
Yeah.
So they weren't international students per se, but they came from overseas when they were young. Like, to be honest, when they came here, they didn't even tell anybody. They just left, because it's like you said, like, you don't know what people like are going through unless you've been through it, right?
That's right.
So, like the stuff was going on around there, and so they had to come here for like a better life, right? And the struggles that they had to face as well. Like you said, when they came here, they didn't know English. They didn't know English, and like from where they are now, like, to be honest, their English is good, right? But I'm surprised with your English, because I met you about 4 years ago, and I wouldn't have guessed that he didn't know English beforehand, right? I don't know about you, Fahad, when you met him, but I met him like and I was so surprised. And
thanks, man.
no problem. And like what I noticed from international students as well is they're the most kindest people that I know, right? So the first time I met Ben, he came up to me. So you see how he's smiling now? He's exact same Ben. He's like, oh, come, let's go. We're playing soccer this day. Come join us. That's the first thing he said to me. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Right. And so it's just, for me, I guess my point from this is just that international students are just really nice people. That's all I can say. And that they go through a lot of struggles, and they should be recognized for like everything they've gone through. And like, I feel like no matter where you come from as well, you can always succeed.